Hey, Wolfpack fans, it's Marcy Bullock with part two of branding. So, we do have three other YouTubes on LinkedIn, but I have one slide devoted to branding on LinkedIn because it is very important that we reiterate it. But go and watch part one, two, and three on LinkedIn if you haven't yet. So you want to have a vanity URL on LinkedIn. That basically means that it doesn't have all the weird symbols and numbers that LinkedIn assigns you for your URL, but that you put your name on there. And you can Google how to do that by editing your public profile. Make sure that you complete your LinkedIn profile 100%, that you have your summary and headline as the key and make it compelling. I like to see that your summary can read like a cover letter, and this can be almost like a generic one that goes out to everyone. And always have a call to action in your summary where you explain who you would like to connect to. Maybe it's hiring managers, colleagues, peers within a specific industry. You can check my LinkedIn out if you want to see mine for an example. Make sure that you look at second and third level connections of the people that you already know, because that's a great way to expand your LinkedIn network. And always, when you're trying to expand it, personalize your network request message. Just type something in, such as, I saw you on the Zoom meeting in my class, and I think your career goals are very in line with my aspirations. I would love to add you to my network. Go Wolfpack. That's always a great way to end an NCSU connection request. Also, try to recommend people in your network, and don't be shy to request a recommendation from someone in your network. This is not the same as an endorsement. It carries a lot more weight when someone types out the recommendation and why they recommend you. They're putting their reputation on the line for you. And I often do those for students who have taken my class, especially if they've come into office hours, whether virtually during COVID or in person when we're done with COVID. It helps us get to know each other a little better. Always be posting new status updates on your LinkedIn, maybe commenting on an article you saw or liking something that relates to a professional piece of information. It shows that you're an expert in your field. You can also set up Google alerts for your name. So anytime someone searches you, you'll find out about it, or maybe there's certain topics you're interested in and you'd like to have Google alerts for that. Maybe there are specific companies that are your dream companies. So you can always go to google.com/alerts. Now, here's our final reinforcement for branding. I have started a podcast, so I will talk a minute about that. This is a great way to make connections with people in the field you aspire to enter. You can interview celebrities on your podcast. You never know. I've interviewed Coach Keats on campus. I've interviewed Terry Gannon, who was on the basketball team that won with Jimmy V back in the 80s, the national champion team, and he's now one of the announcers on ESPN. I interviewed Lindsay Pollock, who is a New York Times bestselling author, all because I said, I'd love to interview you on my podcast. I even invite students at NC State to interview people on my podcast. So you can see about maybe getting an opportunity to interview someone on a podcast to increase your personal branding. I also encourage you maybe to start your own. It's not that hard to do. You can go straight to SoundCloud. And once you enter your podcast realm, you will find that you can network and people will know more about who you are as you ask questions to professionals in your field. People like to write articles. They like to participate in online initiatives related to their profession. Maybe start a newsletter of some kind. We talked about blogs earlier. You can conduct a webinar. In my class, which is the USC 401 adulting class for seniors, I require all of my seniors to produce a 5-minute commercial on themselves and link that to their LinkedIn. It's almost like a mini interview right there for everyone to see. And I think it's wonderful. And some students have received job offers as a result of that. You can leave comments on blogs. You can have pertinent conversations on blogs, and you can post presentations on your LinkedIn. So, friends, these are the final further readings for you as you start thinking about your personal brand. Remember, when someone Googles you, you want them to find out what you want them to find out about. So, get your brand started today. Go Pack!